Y'all, is either the Browns are actually developing Shedeur, which I told y'all before too. They actions say otherwise. But Tom Brady gonna break it down in how he got developed early on in his career, eventually lead him to 7 Super Bowls. So if quarterback's not getting developed, anything similar to this?
The NFL has been shaken to its core after Tom Brady, the 7-time Super Bowl champion and one of the most respected voices in football history, publicly called out the Cleveland Browns for allegedly sabotaging rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders. The comments came during a surprise segment on a recent sports podcast where Brady didn't hold back. He claimed that something doesn't smell right in how Cleveland is handling Shedeur's development, accusing the organization of playing politics instead of football.
I always had this theory that quarterbacking should be easier now. You have personal coaching, 7-on-7 camps. Guys like you and Drew Bledsoe and Troy Aikman have told me, I literally had 8 high school games a year. You're like, I had 40 starts, including high school. Well, guys now have 10,000 snaps by the time they're 14 years old. So I've always said as a sports commentator, I used to give guys 3 years. My argument now is Thanksgiving year 2, the GM, the coach, the coordinator need to go upstairs in a room privately, raise their hands, yes or no. And I don't care.
Those remarks have since gone viral, lighting up every sports network, social media feed, and locker room conversation in the league. To hear the GOAT himself weigh in on the Browns' internal drama has completely flipped the narrative, with fans and analysts now demanding answers from the franchise. According to Brady's comments, he's been quietly watching Shedeur's situation unfold for weeks. The limited reps, the inconsistent messaging from coaches, and the growing reports of tension between the offensive staff and head coach Kevin Stefanski. But what truly set Brady off was the leaked footage from Browns camp that showed Shedeur thriving in unofficial practices under offensive coordinator Tommy Rees.
The local Cleveland media keep going relentless on Shedeur Sanders. He entitled, distracted, developing slow, can't learn the playbook, not getting practice reps with the scout team, not getting practice reps at all. But what if I told you? Then none of that got to do nothing with football. This goes deeper than people realize. If y'all ain't seen the Tom Brady came out on Colin Cowherd, now this is pertaining to the Browns saying they developing quarterback.
Brady pointed out how you don't hide a quarterback with that much composure, implying that the Browns are intentionally holding him back to protect egos or internal power structures. He went further, saying that this kind of mishandling kills confidence and ruins franchises. A strong statement coming from someone who's built his legacy on understanding the psychology of winning. Almost instantly, Brady's critique sent shockwaves across the league. Former players, analysts, and journalists rushed to dissect every word, while Cleveland's front office reportedly went into full damage control mode. Fans are calling this one of the boldest statements by any retired player in recent years, not because Brady was wrong, but because he said what many insiders were afraid to admit publicly. The idea that one of the NFL's most iconic leaders is defending a rookie quarterback adds even more weight to the controversy. And now all eyes are locked on Cleveland, waiting to see if they'll respond or try to quietly ride out the storm.
Everybody knows how to develop a quarterback. You're assuming that you're going into a program. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing when they're tasked with coaching a quarterback or calling an offense. So are you saying, just like we'd rank quarterbacks 1 to 32, do you rank offensive coordinators 1 to 32? Do you rank quarterback coaches 1 to 32? Well, what if you had the 32nd ranked coordinator in someone's mind, or the 32nd ranked quarterback coach? How is he getting a level of development that the guy who's first is getting? I sat behind Drew, who was a franchise quarterback, right? In my second year, it's training camp, and we had a very good quarterback coach named Dick Rabine, and God rest his soul, unfortunately, he passed away in training camp and of a heart attack. And it was a very difficult loss for our team. And the way that we found a way to continue on that season is Bill Belichick became more of a quarterback coach than we ever imagined him being a quarterback coach. He was obviously a head coach, very involved in defensive game planning.
The significance of Tom Brady's comments goes far beyond one player or one team. It's about the culture of control within the NFL. Brady knows the politics that come with quarterback development better than anyone. Early in his career, he faced skepticism, limited reps, and coaches who doubted his ceiling. That experience gives his defense of Shedeur Sanders extra power. When Brady said, "You don't slow down greatness because it doesn't fit your system," fans immediately connected the dots. He was clearly taking aim at head coach Kevin Stefanski's conservative approach, which has been criticized for stifling young talent in the past. Brady didn't name Stefanski directly, but his tone left little doubt about who he was referring to. Insiders claim that Brady's comments hit Cleveland harder than expected. The team had already been dealing with internal turmoil after reports that Stefanski faked an injury to avoid further conflict with Tommy Rees, who had been pushing to give Shedeur more control in practice. Now, with Brady publicly weighing in, that tension has been exposed on a national stage. ESPN, Fox Sports, and NFL Network have all run special segments replaying Brady's comments alongside footage of Shedeur's precision throws from camp.
Now, he's got to put in the work. He's got to adapt to the NFL. He's got to adapt to not being coached by his dad. But physically, when we're talking about physical talent, the concerns I have about Dillon Gabriel aren't there with Shedeur. Now, I would not have taken him with a number 2 pick under any circumstances. I might have thought about it at 33 or 35. I definitely would have thought about it at 92 over Dillon Gabriel. But the truth is, I don't feel beholden to either of these quarterbacks. We should treat them like scratch-off lottery tickets until proven otherwise. But I'm watching the discourse fall out with Shedeur Sanders. And the latest one's pantomiming, but certainly the one before this was him saying that he feels like he could do better than a lot of starting quarterback stuff you see around the NFL, and that he's confident he'll be ready to go when his numbers.
Some analysts even suggested that Brady might have insider information from Rees or other members of the coaching staff, given how specific his criticism was. Fans have rallied behind Brady's stance, flooding social media with hashtags like #FreeShedeur and #LetHimPlay. Even other NFL players have shown support, with one prominent quarterback tweeting, "When Tom speaks, everyone listens." That statement sums up the entire situation. Brady's voice carries authority, and when he accuses a franchise of sabotaging a young talent, people take it seriously. The Browns, once hopeful about rebuilding their reputation, now find themselves portrayed as villains in a story that's quickly becoming one of the biggest talking points of the season. If the allegations of internal sabotage prove true, it could destroy any trust between the coaching staff and the locker room, and possibly mark the beginning of a major shakeup in Cleveland. In the days following Brady's outburst, sources inside the Browns organization began leaking more information, and the picture they paint is chaotic. According to reports, Tommy Rees had been quietly communicating with outside mentors, possibly including Brady himself, to get advice on how to manage Shedeur's development amid the internal tension.
Why is the third quarterback getting interviewed? You got nothing to do with the game. Okay, it's all for media clicks. And, he's a heck of a personality, but the personality can't come out until you do something on the field. And, it's a big week for Dillon Gabriel and a big week for the Browns. I mean, making that transition for him even be available to the press. I don't know why he's doing it.
You tell me. You know how that works. Is that the front office? Is that the comms team? Who's putting him out? So we're saying it's not really on him. We have to protect him. He's a young player.
Yep.
Why are we making him available?
Exactly. To me, there's no sense to have him available.
That connection could explain why Brady's comments were so specific and so personal. He wasn't just speaking as an observer, he was speaking as someone who understood exactly what was happening behind the scenes. Rees reportedly told colleagues that he felt boxed in by Stefanski's leadership and that certain decisions were being made for optics, not football. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders has remained focused, refusing to engage with any of the controversy publicly, but his silence hasn't stopped the headlines. Every training session, every small highlight clip, every sideline comment is now being dissected by fans and media alike. Analysts have pointed out that the pressure on the Browns is unlike anything they faced before, because this isn't just about performance, it's about credibility. Once Tom Brady accuses you of sabotaging a player, there's no easy way to spin that narrative. Every move Stefanski makes from here on out will be interpreted through that lens. Is he protecting his system or protecting the franchise from embarrassment? Even rival teams are watching closely. Several coaches around the league have reportedly expressed quiet support for Brady's stance, admitting privately that internal politics often slow down the growth of talented rookies.
That call. He makes that call. Why? Because I want the last thing people to see is the mistakes and the sacks that happen and not give him a chance to redeem himself. Because I think probably what would have happened, okay, we can't have Shedeur come in here and finish this 2-minute drive and go down and get a touchdown. We don't want that. And in chat, for those of you who are listening and watching, I'm not making any excuses for him. He played bad. But I can tell you why he played bad. I mean, if you know the game of football and understand the game of football, understand that those that are in there with him during that time, I'm not going to be on the team.
But few expected Brady to say it out loud, and with this level of conviction. The Browns' public relations team has tried to downplay the remarks, calling them unfounded speculation, but the damage is done. Brady's reputation is spotless. When he speaks, fans believe him. And that's what makes this scandal so damaging. The Browns aren't just facing scrutiny from fans, they're facing judgment from the man widely considered the greatest quarterback of all time. The deeper this story goes, the more it exposes about how the NFL's power structure operates. Brady's defense of Shedeur Sanders isn't just about one rookie. It's a shot at an entire system that prioritizes hierarchy over performance. His comments echo what insiders have been saying for years, that promising young quarterbacks often get trapped in team politics before they even have a chance to prove themselves. The Browns situation is now being used as a case study for how talent can be mismanaged when leadership refuses to adapt. And for Shedeur, this scandal might ironically be the best thing to happen to his career.
As he get thrown in there with the Wolves, because the real Wolves come during the season. Yeah. Pittsburgh is coming. Baltimore is coming. The real Wolves is coming. Now, I am praying to God that Shedeur gets an opportunity to show what he can really do. And I think that would be probably the best thing for him. But knowing the Cleveland Browns, they dumbass gonna trade him.
The public support from a legend like Brady has elevated his profile, turning him from a promising rookie into a symbol of the next generation, a player who represents both talent and rebellion against outdated systems. Behind the scenes, league officials are reportedly unhappy with Brady's candor. According to insiders, several team executives have complained privately that his remarks crossed a line by publicly calling out an active coaching staff. But even those critics admit that Brady's comments are forcing an uncomfortable conversation about accountability. Should coaches and organizations be allowed to hide behind closed-door politics when the results speak for themselves? For many fans, the answer is clear. Performance should always come first. The wave of support for Shedeur online proves that the audience is tired of seeing talent buried under red tape and egos. For the Browns, this controversy may be impossible to recover from if things continue this way. The team's credibility has taken a massive hit, and unless Stefanski or the front office provides a transparent explanation, fans will assume Brady was right all along. The organization's next move, whether that's reshuffling coaching responsibilities or publicly defending its decisions, will define not just its season, but its legacy. And as for Brady, his words will likely echo throughout the NFL for months to come, reminding everyone that even after retirement, his influence on the game remains unmatched. The ripple effects of Tom Brady's statements are already changing how other teams approach their own quarterback situations.
Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance with the play calling. You know you have an offensive line that isn't playing that well. So what do? Why not just play the short game so he can get the ball out of his hands very fast to run a competent goddamn offense? Outside of that, Shedeur has to be better in understanding that the offensive line that you're working with right now is not adequate. Why not allow the players that are competing for a job, in this instance, Shedeur Sanders, to finish off the 2-minute drill?
Analysts predict that the Browns' controversy will set a precedent for how future rookie quarterbacks are treated, especially those coming from high-profile college programs like Shedeur Sanders. The message is clear. The league is watching, and fans expect transparency. In an era where every practice clip and locker room rumor can go viral in minutes, hiding talent is no longer possible. Brady's intervention has opened the floodgates, and now even commentators who once ignored the Browns are digging into the details of Shedeur's rise and the organization's leadership struggles. Internally, the Browns front office is said to be holding emergency meetings to address the fallout. Some executives reportedly want to smooth things over by inviting Brady to meet privately with the team, an unprecedented move that shows just how much influence his comments hold. Others believe the focus should remain on repairing relationships between Stefanski, Reese, and Shedeur before the situation spirals out of control. Whatever approach they take, one fact remains. This is no longer a private issue. The whole league is invested in how Cleveland handles it. If they continue to downplay it, they risk looking guilty. If they admit there were internal missteps, they risk public embarrassment. It's a no-win situation, and Brady's words are the reason why. Meanwhile, Shedeur's name has never been hotter. His jersey sales are reportedly spiking, and sports media outlets are framing him as the quarterback the NFL tried to hide.
But I'm going to answer this question by saying Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going to tell you why. I think he's being set up to fail. That's right, I'm going to say it. Okay. Here we are on national television, right? There's been 11 practices, if I remember correctly. He's been starting against he's been playing against the third unit. He's fourth on the depth chart. And then suddenly you throw him into the start lineup, and he hasn't had any reps with the first team at all. Think about that. So you're just gonna throw him to the wolves like that, huh? I mean, you know, if he had first team snaps in practice,
That narrative, whether fair or not, is now defining the conversation around both him and the Browns. It's a reminder of how quickly perception can shift in today's sports landscape, and how one player's treatment can ignite a movement across the league. Tom Brady didn't just comment on a controversy, he amplified it to a level the Browns may never fully recover from. And as this story continues to unfold, one thing's certain: fans are going to keep watching every throw, every snap, and every headline surrounding Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. For more exclusive NFL breakdowns, behind-the-scenes reports, and real sports talk that cuts through the noise, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Field Talk, your home for the truth behind the headlines.